We're at the Los Angeles Times Festival of Books with Kim Fielding and Venona Keyes. Thanks for being here.
Thanks so much for...
Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
We're excited to have you both here. Now, Kim, of course, within the past couple weeks, we've raved about the Spy's love song, the new Dreamspun Desires. Where did the inspiration for this book come from? Because it was so good.
I think a big part of the inspiration came from my travels in Eastern Europe. So, thinking about the way things used to be in Eastern Europe and how things are changing, plus politics as they're happening right now. And so, I think that was the main thing.
What kind of research did you have to do to develop your spy and your, I guess, rock star who becomes kind of along on this mission without even knowing he's on it?
I didn't have to do too much research on the spy part or on the travel part, but rock stars and music is not something I know anything or have any talent or anything else about. So that was where I had to do most of my research, because I don't know what it's like. I don't know what it's like to be a rock star. So I can't even sing. So
does that mean you know what it's like to be a spy?
No, I'm not. I'm not. I can't divulge.
You have kids.
I have kids.
And you wrote song lyrics.
I
too.
did. Yeah, I know, and it was really fun. And then in the audio version, my narrator Drew Bacco sang them, which was so cool. And it's like, this is the closest I'm ever going to get to being a songwriter, and it's so much fun to listen to. And I can pretend, like I'm the next thing.
Which actually raises the question: did you give him an idea of what the melody for it was, or did he just kind of make that up?
I had no melody in mind. I didn't know he was going to sing. When I write a book, I'm sorry, narrators, I don't think about what I'm doing to my narrators, and so sometimes I torture them. And I wasn't even thinking about a narrator singing it, so that was his idea, and I was so pleased.
And this is a little different in Dreamspuns as well, and I noted it in my review that you are single point of view here. Mm-hmm. Did you go into it deliberately that way, or just kind of organically discover it was the way to go?
It made most sense for this book because there's some surprises about our spy character, and I think it makes it's a lot more fun if we kind of discover those surprises along with the other character rather than knowing right from the start. So, for some books, the dual point of view works really well, but for this one, I think this works well.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. Now, this is part of a bigger series that's happening within the Dreamspuns. Tell us a little bit about the series overall.
Sure. So this series is called Stars from Peril, and this is the first book in it. The second book comes out next month, and that's redesigning Landry Bishop. And the third book, I just finished the first round of edits on. It'll be out in October, and that one is Drawing the Prince. We went over several titles on that one. And so what all three of them have in common is the main characters are from the same small town in Nebraska called Peril, Nebraska. And all three main characters have made it big in some way. So our first guy is a rock star, our second guy is kind of a Martha Stewart type, and the third guy is an artist. And so they've made it big in the world, and they meet someone. And so you can read each of them as a standalone, or in any order you want to, but you'll kind of see the characters appearing a little bit in one another's stories.
It didn't even click for me that it was the name of the town, too,
right.
Because Peril plays into they're in
exactly.
peril.
And I honestly cheated a little bit on that. There is a real town, and a tiny little town, I think there's like 60 people in it, in Nebraska, called Hazard, Nebraska. So, Peril. Yeah.
Peril.
I mean, it's a great name. Yeah.
It works.
Yeah.
Now, people may be wondering, why do we have both of them here together? Well, Venona and Kim also co-write. Tell us about that book.
Running Blind. I will tell you, this came about some years ago in Portland at our Dream Spinner meetup. And she pulls me aside. Now, you have to understand that I was such a fan of Kim. I loved Brute. I loved all of her stuff. And then she's talking to me, and I'm like, you sure you're talking to me? Because, I only co-write. I'm really bad at, doing it by myself. And she goes, oh, yeah. I heard on NPR, and that's how it started. Because Peter Sagal, who's out of Chicago, says, wait, don't tell me. He is a running guide for blind people for marathons. So she had the idea, and we came up with Running Blind.
And the reason why Venona was such a perfect choice is because, unlike me, she does triathlons. Mm-hmm. So I didn't have to do the research on marathon running, which was
or running guides either.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's your department. I'm like, all right, we can do this. So yeah, and it's a wonderful book, and we decided that we wanted to have a second story because in the beginning, and it's not giving a spoiler away, is Kyle and Matt, who have been who went to college together, were friends, became lovers, and now they're in a comfortable pattern, and they really love each other, but as brothers rather than lovers. So when something happens to Kyle, Kyle breaks it off, and he goes, "You got to go do stuff." And Matt's reluctant, but this story is about Kyle and how he deals with the things that have happened in his life. So the next book that we're writing, the working title is Belaying, is Matt's story about how he finds romance after the breakup.
And when do we get to see that one come out? TBD.
TBD. That one's still in progress.
So it's still in progress. It's now in my hands, and so we switch back and forth when we write, and I need to get it back to Kim. So hopefully.
And you've got some other co-write coming too. You're working with Shira Anthony as well.
Shira Anthony, it is another story. It's actually about a farmer and a city boy. So that one is coming up soon, and that's in honor of a friend of ours from GRL. So we're writing a story about a farmer, which he is, and who's not out, and a city boy who is. So it's a lot of fun. We already have the outline, and we're just getting started on writing that as well too.
Very cool. Anything else coming up we should know about?
Yes, how to become a K-pop idol. I am writing that one by myself. We might get a co-writer on that one, you never know. But that one is, if people aren't familiar with this, I love Korean culture, a lot of Asian culture, Japanese, Korean. I'm learning Korean. I've been a K-pop fan since 2009, proudly.
Before
with
it was
Big Bang.
cool.
Before it was cool. And right now, my biases right now, because Big Bang, if you don't know, in Korea, you have to go in for military service, mandatory by the time 30. So a lot of the K-pop idols are going in. So new ones are coming up. So the third gens right now is BTS. If you've not heard of Bangtan Sondan, BTS, they're really big. They're the band that I'm following right now.
Very cool. Anything coming up for you, Kim, outside of the Peril series?
Yeah, outside of the Peril series at the end of this month. So April 30th, I've got a new novella coming out. So people who are following my Bureau series, there'll be a new novella in that. And I want to push that because I give all my royalties for that to Doctors Without Borders. Okay. So this is the fourth story in that series, but you can read them as standalones too.
And they're
Very
awesome
cool.
stories too.
Thanks.
I love those.
And what have you guys thought of the festival?
You know, this is the first time I've been here, and it is awesome. And there's just so many people here. There's so many different books, and you get to browse them all at the same time instead of in a little bookstore somewhere. So yeah.
And it's been a lot of fun just kind of hang out with everybody. LA is fun, so it's been a lot of fun.
Hey, very cool. Well, thanks for hanging out with us for a few minutes.
Thanks so
for
much.
asking us.